Alright, let's be honest here, Fate isn't the most popular anime in the world right now. And I don't think it'll ever be. I mean, there's enough controversy as it is when it comes to the watch order. And it's obviously not going to be, well, a relevant topic or anime. We've got Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen all popping off. I mean, Demon Slayer is made by Ufotable, but no one talks about its other best anime, which is what it's mainly known for, is Fate. And now it's all only known for bloody that one episode in Demon Slayer. So despite that, I'm going to talk about one of my favourite characters in Fate. One of the main reasons I love that show, it's second on my most favorited list of anime, because when you refer to Fate, it isn't the whole universe with its, well, confusing cast of many sabers and all that shit. It's about two wars and two, well, main characters, one main cast, I suppose. We have the prequels Fate Zero to Fate Stay Night, which has 3 routes. And to get to the point of the vid, we're talking about Archer from the 5th Holy Grail War.
I am the pawn of my sword. Torres Om.
From Fate Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works. And Archer is one of the best characters in the show, and the most known within the fan base, other than, well, the main waifu, Saber, and the OP king of hype himself, Gilgamesh.
Zashu.
Right, to get to the meat and potatoes, the main point of this video, I'm going to be talking about Archer from all the Fate routes of Stay Night, and any other linkage to the show and the character of Archer from the 5th Holy Grail War. Yeah, I recommend staying tuned for half the video. I'm going to be talking about, without going into spoilers for anyone who's going to be interested in Fate Stay Night, which I doubt. I think we've already seen Fate is going to be clicking this video, and yeah, I don't think my opinion matters to you now about watching it, but I really do recommend it. It's like bloody 9 for the whole bloody verse. But yeah, let's get straight into Archer. I mean, why is it that this strange nobody is just beloved by everyone in the fan base? Because you've got Artoria Pendragon, which is meant to be King Arthur. Everyone's meant to be their waifu when they watch the bloody show, and that's what it's known for. She's the face of it. And then when they talk about best characters, most OP is bloody the king of hype himself, Gilgamesh, the king of kings. So why is it that this guy, Archer, whoever this guy is, this nobody, is meant to be one of the best, not even best, just most favorite characters? I mean, when you talk about best characters as well, it's Kiritsugu Emiya that comes up, known from Fate Zero, which is known to be almost basically the masterpiece of a show. But of course, the most popular aspect of Fate would be the Fate Stay Night and its questionable memes. Well, other than this guy being some next mystery coming into the Holy Grail War after watching Fate Zero, or however you want to watch the watch order in, I recommend going from Fate Zero to Blade Works to maybe half of Stay Night to, what's its name, Heaven's Field, and then finishing Stay Night. It's weird. No one in the world knows how to watch that. But regardless, it's amazing however you watch it, I guess. So knowing that you don't know if he's an Archer, a Saber, he doesn't even know his own name, like others, unlike other spirits. You've got someone who knows who they are, with the bloody blade of Excalibur, the King of Kings. Obviously, identities in this show are meant to be hidden from the enemies, of course, to hide their powers and abilities. The guy didn't even know who he was, apparently. He couldn't even explain it to his own master, and then when he fights his first battle with Lancer, later, well, in the first bloody Zero episode, the prologue, he figures out he's a bloody archer and he's been using blades. This is one of the greatest aspects of Fate in general, is just being able to subvert your general expectations, flipping that. And this is one of his earliest works of whatever his name is. I'll put that on the screen. I should know, but I'm more interested in the show rather than what goes around it. But this man's able to take on a half god, half deity in a way, Lancer. He's meant to be an OP bloody hero, and this guy's barely able to keep up with him, but he's still doing it. And you later learn of his limitations in the show, and he is limited. He's using swords when he's meant to be an archer against Lancer, flexing that this guy's, he's just flexing on Lancer, or that he's able to even catch up with him the way he does as an archer. So being this mysterious guy and all, you obviously want to learn more about him and the way he actually interacts with the main character of the show, Shiro Emiya. But before we get to that, it's filled with a lot of foreshadowing to his character, to what is to come ahead, and by his epic characterization. But I mean, what else can I say? This guy is an archer and he's nuking the shit out of bloody Hercules. He's basically the Batman of the show with his next fancy tricks being able to do some next underhanded tactics. Not even really underhanded, it's just this guy's playing some next game in the Holy Grail War. Kind of like Gilgamesh, being able to use some next hacks. You can't even figure out what his noble phantasm is. He's been throwing so many shit at people, nuking them, being able to summon multiple swords. I mean, the man uses a sword for his arrow and is able to take out Caster as well. I mean, his power, just being able to do that, shows the other power of the servants as well, as they contrast each other. I mean, Berserker didn't even take any damage from those nukes. Like, he was shooting like, I think 8, I don't know, there's some great videos I'm gonna just put up right now, maybe, describing how amazing the powers are, how he's able to shoot that, I don't know, that Mark 12 or some next shit of his swords, being able to do all these next nukes within like, I don't know, 2 seconds of 8,000 meters. But the way he does it is reactions to things. These subtle hints of his character just show how much effort and care Ufotable put into their work when they were making Unlimited Blade Works. Because I'm going to talk about Ufotable for a bit, because this is what carries the show as well. Other than the writing, it's this that carries the show. Because I'm not going to talk about the origins of Fate itself. It was a visual novel from like, I don't know, 20 years ago. It's some of the guy's oldest works. And it's been adapted from, I think, a manga to this anime as well. And this anime really puts in the detail to its characters. Visual novels are quite hard to actually adapt, unless you're talking about Steins Gate. They did a well job with that, but it's just because it's quite long. But they're able to get all the characterization in and everything except for, I don't know, Shiro. Shiro feels different to where he is in the visual novel, because you actually see what goes on in his mind and stuff. I mean, I learned this stuff from other people's videos. YouTube's quite helpful when it comes to Fate, I guess. But as I was saying, I need to get to the meat of potatoes of bloody Archer, because as epic as he is, the reason we love him is not just because of this. Because, I mean, I'm talking about all these details I put into it, but you have to talk about why and where these details are being put into. It's the revelation of the tragedy that this man is. A hero that didn't sign up for the job he's doing. Someone who regrets the path of a hero. This is where I'll be going into more spoilers. I'll do a spoiler warning when I'm actually going to go fully into it. And yeah. Fate, and mainly Fate Zero, is known for its amazing characters, its cast, which brings and carries the show. The plot of the Holy Grail War isn't one of the best plots. It's where the heavy loading of the writing takes place. The wars feel like an actual war, whereas there is loss, where you want to root for some of the other sides. Perhaps not exactly for, well, Fate Stay Night, but this is what Fate Zero does, and it brings the character of Kiritsugu Emiya, with his ideals, being a hero. Justice is something there's more of a debate in this, just like your old classic Greek tragedies. The Greek tragedy theory of Aristotle is displayed in, well, the most famous writings of bloody Shakespeare. I mean, Shakespeare's in the bloody anime as well, not Fate Stay Night, but he is in Fate, because his writings legendary, is being used by the very writer of Fate itself. Being able to have us question life itself and what goes in it. Why do we live? What is the meaning? Justice. All these different things. These are very prevalent themes in tragedies, and especially in Fate Stay Night. Well, no, yes, and Fate Zero. Mainly adhering to justice. And that's where this hero here comes in. It's not as simple as, well, justice is a right or wrong or something like that where you see in bloody Batman and shit. This is how you handle your dishing out your justice. You come to Fate Zero quickly, you have Saber's naive ways of honor on the battlefield, and you have Kiritsugu's utilitarian methods. And the anime shows you that the world is against these ideas. You're trying to save the world. They're noble ideals, but they're only ideals. And you can't carry on, you can't move on with these ideals. You can't try and make those a reality. They're ideals for a reason. They're a dream. Saber failing to save her kingdom, and Kiritsugu failing to save the world. Impossible feats. Having this lost child who's been lost since the very beginning, from unable to save his childhood best friend to trying to save the world, pleading, looking for a miracle, because as he realizes in the end, killing thousands of lives to save thousands of more won't save the world, and nor will a miracle, because no miracle exists, because searching for a miracle is just as foolish as for searching as a dream. His brutal methods to try and, well, gain this miracle, for it all to just be blown up in his face, to fail in that regard after doing all the things he did, to the context of losing everything the way he did after all he had done to try and save the world. His ambition is Hamasha. Hamasha is the fatal flaw of a character. His was his utilitarian motives, and that failed him. That stole everything from him. And he, in his final moments of trying to be a hero, is saved by someone, by saving another, saving heroic spirit Emiya, archer of the 5th Holy Grail War. This is where the spoilers are basically coming in, spoiler alert. As I was saying, he saved a child that's basically saved him in turn, where he pledged to save this one child, this one thing, and raise him to be not what he was. And by doing so, he did not raise a mage like his master did, but he raised a son. And that son, in Kiritsugu's final moments, he resolved to becoming a hero, just like his father, but not to fail like him, to carry on his wishes. And doing so allowed him to rest peacefully right after doing so, leaving the dreams upon that child and the burden, the curse of justice. From there on, just like his father, he is to find the Holy Grail War, as he resolves to seeing, well, how to see through with his ideals, because of his survivor's guilt of surviving that Holy Grail War, and that tragedy with the survivor's guilt, as he walked on through the flames trying to survive, leaving others, abandoning them, as they plead for help as they burn to death, for him to save them, a child who only wished to live, only to be burdened by that wish as life went on, for he was the only one to be saved within all that mess. Survivor's guilt, and the way he was raised by his father, with that last wish, that one wish that he admired so much, as on the brink of death, he envied his father, the one who had raised him after that. He envied the joy in his eyes, as he was being saved by another. Coming to a different conclusion to his father of his utilitarian tactics, instead of killing the few to save the many, the boy saved by Kiritsugu, Shiro Emiya, resolves to save all those in front of him, to create a world where no one cries. From helping out those at the local shop, even overloading himself, to helping his friends with chores they should be doing themselves. He wishes to help everyone, become a hero in a sense, striving to follow through with Kiritsugu's ideals in any ways he can. Kiritsugu was a master mage, but unbeknownst to him he was a mage killer. And as saying before, he raised Shiro as a son first rather than a mage, but teaching him little tricks and such and basics to the boy. Shiro using these basics such as reinforcement, tracing, things that seem to be so useless, projection magic, things for bloody pencils and cloths, as Kiritsugu said. He practiced these things because these were the only principles of magic he knew, and after the Holy Grail War, he was educated far more in magecraft itself, giving him the path of a hero that he wished for. But soon he was burdened by the lack of his power to his talent, and needed more of that power, because the situation called for it. He could die and save no one, or he could call upon a greater power, upon himself, to save 300 lives. And without a doubt, or second of hesitation, he takes a contract with the world, to give up his afterlife for a greater power, to become a servant of the world and a hero. Sacrificing his peace that comes after death from this world, he becomes a great hero of power, fully mastering his magic and being given the power of tracing one's weapon, one's noble phantasm, to be able to use it as his own. I am the bone of my sword. The whole chant for his magic, his reality marble as a mage, itself describes what he had to become. He had to become the bone of his sword, a sword, a blade that uses of the world, only a tool, is what he came to soon realize. But rather than to talk about this, we're going to go straight back to Fate Stay Night, the archer you see in the Holy Grail War, the one maddened by Shiro's ideals and their naivete. Shiro wishes to save all those in front of him without the power to do it, and even if he had the power, as he says to Shiro,
お前の欲望が誰も傷つけないという理想であるのなら好きにするがいい。ただしそれが本当にお前自身の欲望ならばな。自分の意志で戦うのなら、その罪も罰も全て自分が生み出したもの。背負うことすら理想のうちだ。だがそれが借り物の意志であるのなら、お前の唱える理想は空想に落ちるだろう。戦いには理由がいる。だがそれは理想であってはならない。理想のために戦うのなら、救えるのは理想だけだ。そこに人を助ける道はない。戦う意義とは何かを助けたいという願望だ。少なくともお前にとってはそうだろう。エミヤシロ。
The Holy Grail War summons some of the most noblest of heroes in their times, and Archer clearly contrasts to the people like Saber, Lancer, and even Berserker. He was someone you couldn't understand, but you could tell he just hated the point of all of this. But you could tell it's because all of it hurt him. These ideals, they clearly betrayed him in some manner, as it did for Kiritsugu Emiya, as Saber said.
Kiritsugu, 分かっているのか? 悪を憎んで悪をなすなら、その怒りと憎しみがまた新たな戦いを呼ぶだろう。エミヤ・キリツグ、かつてあなたが何に裏切られ、何に絶望したのかは知らない。だがその怒りは、嘆きは、紛れもなく正義を求めた者だけが抱くものだ。キリツグ、若き日の本当のあなたは正義の味方になりたかったはずだ。世界を救う英雄を誰よりも信じて求め欲していたはずだ。違うか?
Fate shows the noblest of heroes only get dragged down by the world and by their own ideals. Two men on the same path to justice, taking different routes, are reaching the same destination and conclusion. Kiritsugu always wanted to be a hero, but it's when he had to, when he saw the world's evils, all he wished to do, to amend for what he could not, was save people, or to purge all evil in the world, even if he were to become all the evils in the world. To fight evil with evil, and to fight with honor. Ideals and ideals are just the same, they're all ideals, and that's all they'll ever be, as Archer and Kiritsugu find out in the end, never seeming to find the answer they were looking for, only to give up, like Saber herself, which both seem to have the same servant. The irony of it is, servants that are summoned by masters are meant to be of the similar mental capacity, meant to be the same, and obviously Kiritsugu and Saber differed so much, but if you really look at it, the way I'm looking at it right now, they're one in the same, all three of them. They were in the same boat, the same ship. Because after Zero, Saber, just as them, couldn't find her answer. The only answer she found was to give up, to not be king, and her wish was to save it. It became to just give up on the role, just as Archer did, and Kiritsugu. Kiritsugu wishing to find a successor, and for Archer to just end it. Because Kiritsugu couldn't do it himself, so he wished for someone else to find that answer if he couldn't do it. And as Shiro tried, he couldn't do it himself, and couldn't stand killing the many few to save the many. Thousands and thousands of lives to just save others. As the Holy Grail shows to Kiritsugu, that isn't the answer. Then what is, they ask? They don't know. So as they drag you down, you must get rid of them, especially those of others. As Archer tells Shiro, borrowed ideals are not ones you should be using at all whatsoever. Those ideals of yourselves are respectable at least such as Saber, but those that are borrowed, like Shiro's from Kiritsugu, are the worst, and they're only self-destructive, as he soon came to learn. For not only did he inherit those ideals by his curse, because as I said before, Shiro Emiya is Archer of the 5th Holy Grail War. And Archer's wish, the reason he came back to this war, was to kill Shiro Emiya, to rectify his past mistakes in becoming a hero, to make it so that it never happened. As like Hamlet, this is where the writer of Fate Stay Night's actual skills come into play. His knowledge comes into show with the complexities of Archer and Shiro Emiya. Mainly Archer is the one we'd be looking at right now. I mean, they are both in the same, but Archer is one that went on a different path to them all. This video's gone way too long. There'll be a part 2 coming out, well, probably right after this one. So as the short attention span that everyone has, I recommend clicking on that video whenever you got time after this. And yeah, it's just easier having it to divide up. I mean, who wants to go sit here listening here to me babble on about Fate for bloody 40 minutes? Well, I hope you like it. Like the video, share it to other Fate fans, especially Archer fans, and sub for more Fate or other, I don't know, anime you like. There's other videos on the channel, and I'll be talking about Fate 100% more. This, as I said, this is my second favourite anime, second to, well, Steins Gate, as the channel name may suggest if you have not looked. And the main focus of the next video is definitely be, well, the rest of Archer and what makes him an amazing character, rather than just being written down, but why we love him so much. I mean, he's Fate's greatest badass. That's all I could really say other than Kiritsugu. This is the guy. And yeah, Signs Alter signing out.